Hola mis amigos, welcome to my backyard kitchen. We're gonna be grilling it up today. I've got some great recipes for you. We're gonna start with our roasted corn. I went ahead and I've roasted it. I have 3 corns and this is gonna be it can be for a salad, it could be a side or a stuffing. So you're gonna see all 3, okay? So I'm gonna get started with my roasted corn. And I found this, actually my son is Ian over here. He's the one that told me about this, the easier way to shave your corn. So we're gonna shave it off and it does work really well. As you can see. And you don't have to roast the corn if you don't want. I mean, I do, because I would like the color, the flavor. And it is delicious. It's so refreshing. So, and what do you do with the ends here like that? You save them for later. Just saying. And that's what I do anyway. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do our corn here, and then we'll start chopping up the rest of the recipe that goes with it, okay? Nice and roasted, right? Okay, I'm gonna put this aside, and I'm gonna use 1 jalapeno for this. And this is a good size. I'm gonna cut this, and again, we're gonna take out the seeds. And if you leave a couple in there, whoops, so what? It's not a big deal. They're not that hot. Jalapenos this year, for some reason, I don't know where they're coming from, but they're not as hot as they used to be. And that's a good thing, especially when you're putting it in this recipe. It's great. So we're gonna go ahead, we're just gonna dice this up, chop it up. Nice small pieces. It's so beautiful out today. Perfect day for this, Ian. Right? So he's nodding yes. And it is. It's a beautiful day. So I'm going to just chop it up a little bit more. I'm going to toss it in. Ooh. And it's really refreshing. And you put it in the refrigerator, let it chill. Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and use a bell. Of course, I'm going to take out the seeds. And I'm getting the seeds all over the place. You could use these seeds and throw them in your garden. I'm telling you, I don't have a big backyard. But, for those that do, hey, save some money. I'm going to just put this aside here. Cut this in half. We can take some of the little veins out. Oh, yeah. Do the same. It's really crunchy and it's so delicious. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. If you want to make them, dice them bigger or smaller, that's your call. But this is just perfect, I think. And we use the whole thing, the tops and all. I made some stuffed peppers, years ago. I should bring that back because I came up with another. I have all these little recipes up my sleeve, When you cook and you come from a family that loves to cook, the ideas and, you got to give it all a shot. And I like to share them with you. And that's why we're doing this show. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to, like I said, I use the whole thing. Get these out of the way. And you want color in your food too. All right. So we're gonna do our red, and then we have some cilantro. Before I do my red, let me do this. I'm gonna chop this up a little bit more. Okay. I should have a wooden cutting board, but I just love this. My son's always telling me, hey, right, Ian? I know. Well, you can get me one for Christmas. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Actually, I got a little one from my friend Mesa, and it's even got my little signature on there, which is wonderful. I should probably be using it. Thank you to my Mesa. Thank you. From Basma Fitness, Dance and Fitness. Okay, so before, let me see. I might as well. I'm going to do the lime. I'm just going to cut it in half right now. It's staring at me. So I'm going to put this aside. And we're going to go ahead and do our red. Take out the seeds. Yep. Wow, this reminds me, you know, memories always pop back, right? You can take some of the little veins out, but they still taste good, so don't feel like you have to, right? Okay. So I've got a couple more ingredients that need to go in here. So I'll finish up doing the pepper and then we'll get the rest going, okay? Ooh, look how colorful that is, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and you're gonna need about a tablespoon, and this is my tablespoon right here of cilantro. And if you don't like cilantro, you can add your favorite herb, parsley. You can do anything, anything that you like. But we love our cilantro. Oh, yes. I have my little scooper right there, but you know what? This is pretty easy right now. All of it. Then we're gonna go ahead and add some salsa. Linditas, it's about a half a cup. No, I'm lying. It's a cup of Linditas. You can go mild or hot. It's totally up to you, but I like it, well, I do like it mild on this one. Okay, we're gonna just toss it on the top. Así. We're gonna add half a lime, and that's it. You can go, like I said, you can change the recipe up, if you'd like. Oh, yeah. The lime is just so refreshing. I'm gonna add a little pepper and some salt. Perfect. I'm gonna give it a toss. Here, let me put it right here so you can see. I don't know if you can see it as well, but oh my goodness. Just mix all your ingredients up. There's so many things you can do with it, so I'm gonna be showing you what to do with it as well, okay? So we're gonna put a little cover on it and we're gonna stick it in the fridge and we'll start it on our next recipe. So now we're gonna be stuffing my Poblano and Anaheim. And how do you do that? I'm gonna show you. And I wanna keep the stem on there because it just makes it look a lot prettier. You don't eat it anyway, you toss it out, but it's just, I'm gonna show you a little trick, okay? So what I've done is I'll go from the top and just kind of make a little insert into the pepper. And then you're gonna bring it around because you have that core in the middle that you're gonna have to cut out. Okay, so we're gonna pull that off. We're gonna set this aside because you know what? We're gonna be using this for our meat mixture as well. So as you can see, all the seeds are right in there like that. And we're gonna cut this. Try not to get too close to the stem up on top. And it pulls off. Así. So now what you want to do is just remove some of the seeds. And if you leave some seeds in there, it's not going to hurt you. Okay? So we're going to just empty that out. And you're going to do the same thing for my Anaheim pepper. Again, you feel kind of like where the core is, up there where the seeds are. And this is a little thinner So this is just, you know, it's got a real unique flavor. As you know, Anaheim and the Poblano has got more of a meaty and spicier, but it's not so hot. Okay, so I'm gonna do that, remove it, save it, and then we're gonna cut out all the seeds, the little stem, the vein. I'm gonna empty that out. Whew. Popping everywhere. And you can make a little design too, you know, because you're going to be using all of it. So if you don't go all the way, you know, make it a straight line, or you can just make a little design in it too. And again, this is a family style recipe. You know, I'm making a lot, but you can take this recipe and just cut it down. If it's 2 of you, you know, just bring down the recipe, because this is going to make about 6 of each of the Poblano and the Anaheim. And then I'm going to show you what we're going to do afterwards. We're going to be stuffing them with some meat. So I'm going to show you just a couple of my little peppers I've went ahead and started. And now we'll get started on our meat, okay? I'm so excited. Okay, so here are the inserts to my Poblano and the Anaheim. So what you want to do is just dice these up as well. Now see? And we did 6 of each. So nothing goes to waste here. Nothing. Okay. And just bring them all together. I see. And we're gonna just dice them up. Like I said earlier, you know, if it's a family of 2, you know, just cut down the recipe in half, and they are good the next day too. You know, or you can, you know, take them to a barbecue, you know, for dinner at your son's house. It's easy. And they're so refreshing. Okay, we're almost there. So everything goes in the pan, you know. All right, perfect. You can dice them up a little bit more if you'd like. Whoop. Okay. Put these in there, ready to put on the griddle here in a little bit, because we're going to mix them in with our meat. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside for right now. Put these guys over here. And then I'm just going to wipe this down a little bit for me. And here is the ground beef. This is what I'm using, about 1.5 pounds of ground beef. And we're going to add all our seasonings to it. So I'm going to use a tablespoon of Linditas seasoning, salsa mix. And I'm using the mild. Again, go with the hot if you like it a little on the spicy side. All right. And a teaspoon of the cumin. And a teaspoon of the Mexican oregano. If you don't have the Mexican oregano in your store, just use the plain oregano. That'll work as well. And a 1/2 teaspoon of the salt and 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. I'm gonna go ahead and just toss that in together. And we're gonna go ahead and add about a 1/2 teaspoon of the canola oil, or you can use a vegetable oil too. And then we've got 3 cloves. I usually use my molcajete, but I thought I'd use my little mincer because it makes it a little faster right now for this recipe. So I'm gonna just go ahead and just take that off. Perfect. And you'll need about 3. Whoa! Everybody's getting fed here. All right, my little plants. Perfect. Uno más. And then we're going to mix it all up. Every bit. Just set this aside. Should have put it on my little tray here. Perfect. And of course, some lime. And you can go ahead and use a whole lime. I'm going to go with a 1/2. And you'll see why later when you taste this. And if you want to marinate it as well the night before, you can, to have it ready to go. Okay. So now I'm going to use my little manitas and we're going to mix it all up. And then we're going to get our griddle going because we're going to cook it all up. All right. So I'm going to let it sit for a little bit, mix it up a little bit more, and get my griddle going. So I got my griddle going. It's on a medium to low heat right now. We're going to just add a little oil across just to keep everything nice and moist. And I'm using, like I said, a canola oil, or you do a vegetable oil as well. We're going to throw in our meat. Yep. Get that cooking. And the peppers aren't that big, so you don't need a lot of meat. You're not going to fill them up too much. Then we're going to throw, the little tops in. I'm going to set them over here, get them cooking. Perfect. Going to add a little bit of oil on there, a little bit more. Yep. Now flatten them out a little bit so they can get nice and cooked. Won't take long. Now we're going to start adding the peppers in. Oh, actually, I'm going to do all of it. Yeah, there we go. Yum. So I'm going to split this in half. Kind of like this. Then I'm going to add my corn mixture to this side. And to give you a variety of, a different look and a different flavor. So this is the roasted corn salsa. And I used about over a cup. You can add more if you want, so this is perfect. All right, beautiful. Let's fill up our little boats. Our Poblano and our Anaheim, they're ready to get stuffed. And it doesn't matter which mixture you use. Okay, so I'm gonna fill this as much as I can in here like that. And you can use your fingers or, to kind of get them full into the creases, into the sides, just like that. Beautiful. And then with my Anaheim, I'm going to go ahead and use my corn mixture, my roasted corn. And like I always say, I like to leave the little tops on. It just makes it really cute when you're serving. It's kind of the chef in me that likes to do that. Beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and get them all ready to go into the grill. Oh my, look how beautiful this looks. Oh, I'm so happy. And you know how much is left? Enough for a chip. That's for you, Ian. So we'll scoop it up and that's all that's left. So we got 6 of each. So it's pretty close to the recipe. And now what we're going to do, I'm going to leave this thing here for you, Ian. we're gonna go ahead and just top it off with some shredded cheese, Mexican shredded cheese, or use your favorite too. Okay, we're gonna just, and you know, because they are fresh peppers, I just wanna let you know that I like the crunch. So you're not gonna overcook them. They're gonna, you know, just as long as the cheese melts on top, it'll be ready to go. Okay, so, and the meat's still pretty warm, believe it or not. It's, yeah, and it's just ready. Oh, and what we're gonna do, and I love my cheese, as you know. We always talk about cheese here. And yeah, so that's what you want. Stuff them up as much as you like. Tan bonito. Looks so pretty too. And you know, when you have food that looks good, you know, you got color in the food. I know my kids, they love, I mean, if it looks dull, believe me, they're not gonna really like that. You know, so I'm just saying, it worked for me. It works for you now too, Ian. Now he's got a baby girl, my sunny girl. Yeah, and so she's like that. She's a little picky little girl. One of these days I'm gonna have her on so you can see her. I know, Ian's little baby girl. My little sunny girl. Okay, and my Layla, I just want to say, just turned 10. I know. I can't believe it. Things are happening. I'm abuelita. I love being a grandma. It's part of my life, and I just love having them around. Okay, so look how beautiful this is. It's ready to get topped. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover these up and just a light foil. I'm going to just close it up a little bit. And just to kind of get them a little steamy in there. And you don't want them to overcook because you still want that crunch. Got to have the crunch. All right, and we're going to top this. Little foil on top. Perfect. And if the little ends stick out, that's okay. You're not going to eat those. Okay, so we're going to just cover them enough to just give them a little steam in there. Perfect. All right, and this is pretty warm. So it's about 455, 500. So I'm gonna just go ahead and set them in here. And then we'll take a peek in a little bit. So these will cook about 8. Well, you know, it just depends on your grill. Okay, so 8 to 15. Give it, you know, back and forth. You got to just check, and as long as it's melted, looks a little like the way you want it, I'll show you in a bit. All right, we'll let them cook up, and we'll get set up. Okay, let's take a peek. It's at 450 right now. Oh yeah, these are ready. Yeah, these are ready to go. The cheese is melted nice and beautiful. Yeah, and it's still gonna have that crunch because you don't want them to get too soft. All right, so we'll pull these off and let's take a look at our poblano. Okay, they need about another 2 minutes, let's just say, okay? We are done and look how beautiful this looks. My poblanos, they took about 12 minutes on the grill at 450 in there, and my Anaheim about 8. So as long as the cheese melts and you know what you want, just pull them out and serve them up because they're gonna be nice and crunchy, and it's got so many wonderful flavors in there. And my corn salsa, roasted corn salsa, it is so delicious. You can have this right as a side on your plate, and you can have it as a dip as well. And you know, as you saw, I added it right to my poblano in the meat, and just gives it that you need, that little zap. Okay, so until next time, I just want to say thank you for joining me in my backyard and grilling it up with me. I just want to say thank you so much, and to my sponsors, and for more recipes, just go to linditasalsa.com. Gracias, mis amigos. Until next time, cheers.